I want to give you an overview on my thoughts on private label product creation. It's a very popular concept that a lot of people are wanting to implement when it comes to selling on Amazon. There's some pros and there's some cons to doing it, and we're going to dive into it, and I'll just share some insights with you that I think will help you as you're starting your private label venture or your Amazon selling adventure, so you'll be able to determine what's the best strategy for you. We're here in Chinatown at the King's Noodle, and in a few minutes we're going to talk about private label product creation, but I just want to make an observation. Somebody just walked by and said they think this might be Chinese duck, as if the duck speaks Chinese, or maybe the duck is a certain nationality. I think all duck is duck. So lunch was delicious. I'd give this restaurant a score of an 8.1 out of 10. Chicken was a little cold, but the flavor was delicious. Food was good, the service was a little slow, and I requested ice water 4 or 5 times, but for some reason didn't get any ice. So let's go ahead and talk about private label product creation as we wander around Chinatown. So just to give you an idea what private label is where you take a product that somebody else is already selling and put your name or your brand on that product. You're not actually the only one that's going to be selling that item. That item might be sold by hundreds of other people, but it will be exclusive to you under your name and under your brand. The most common place for people to import product is from a website called Alibaba or from China. And from there, you're able to find a supplier that's making a product, typically for someone else if you've done your research properly, and then have them make that product for your specs and in your name and your brand. So let's take a look at an example of what this might look like. This is a perfect example of how to create a product that you can bring in from overseas as a private label. You just need to have a pattern that might be more specifically unique to you that someone can't find anywhere else. I know we're in Chinatown in Toronto, but one of the things that they have here is a fruit called durian, which is a product that you can get typically in Singapore. As we take a look at what our opportunities are, we'll see that there's lots of different products that are already selling on Amazon. They might just have a different brand or a different name. What we're going to be able to do is take a product like this. For example, this is a Rubik's Cube, or at least a simulated Rubik's Cube. So if we were going to do a private label of this product, we might change the packaging, or we might keep the packaging but add our name, our brand, to the label itself. Products that you bring in from China do not have a UPC code, so you'll need one of those to list it. You'll also need to write an effective title, a good description, and you'll need to have really good keywords so that people on Amazon can find you. Once you get that item listed, you'll need sponsored ads, and it's a relatively lengthy process to get it going the way you want it to really be optimized. Now, when you take a product like this, there's something called the MOQ, or minimum ordered quantity. That means that you might need to order 500 or 1,000 of them at a time. Cash flow then becomes an issue. Typically, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for your item to be made and another 4 to 6 weeks for it to arrive. So you're 8 to 12 weeks out, you've paid in full for all of your merchandise, and now you need to start selling your product. Selling a private label is an awesome opportunity long-term, but what I've found is that most people who do a product like this run out of money before they run out of time. It takes some investment to put into place in order to be able to have a product like this selling effectively. So what we want to do is we want to focus on the things that are going to generate you positive cash flow now. That might be arbitrage or wholesale, which may not be how you want to start to do your Amazon business. But the reality is that even if your private label products are a long-term strategy, you've got to have cash flow coming in now so you can support the business. The other thing is this product might be a fantastic product, but the reality is this might be one that doesn't sell very well. Whereas this one, this might be something that sells better, or perhaps you end up going with your own version of a yo-yo. It could take you 3 or 4 times before you find that one that's going to get those sales and that velocity that you're looking for. Last thing I'll mention on private label is if you've never done this before, I would not do it on your own. I would get a coach or a mentor. I would have somebody guiding you through the process. I don't think you want to reinvent the wheel when it comes to creating your own product. I think it's something that if somebody can show you something that has worked in the past and help you follow those steps. That will expedite your learning curve, and it will also save you a ton of money in the mistakes that you would have made on your own. Start thinking about your own product, doing your research on your own product, and preparing to have your own product. But in the short term, do the things that are necessary so you can have your cash flow, so that you can worry about how you're going to build out your product and not how you're going to pay for it.